Welcome back, ladies and gents. I hope you had an amazing 4th of July weekend. On today's show, Dodge chases its demons. We say goodbye to a classic, and Audi shows off a 500 horsepower EV. Plus, we look at some big surprises from the latest Mecum auction. I'm Tiffany Stone, and this is Hagerty's Daily Driver. Let's buckle up. First up, if you want a drag racing Dodge but missed the chance to buy a Demon, your prayers have been answered. Meet the Demon's successor, the Challenger SRT Super Stock. It uses the same blown 6.2-liter Hemi V8 as the Red Eye, but with a higher redline, it now makes 807 horsepower. Yes, I know the Demon makes 840 horsepower, and with only 807 horsepower, you may be worried about being outgunned, but the Super Stock has some tricks up its sleeve. Under the wide body fenders are drag radials wrapped around lightweight wheels. Now put the car in track mode and it changes the steering, ESC, and the suspension to help you get down the quarter mile as fast as possible. It's only offered with an 8-speed automatic transmission, but considering it runs the quarter mile in 10.5 seconds, keeping both hands on the wheel isn't a bad idea. Also, unlike the Demon, this won't be limited to just 3,300 units, so hopefully there's no insane dealer markup. Now moving on. Just as Dodge giveth, Dodge taketh away. After almost 40 years, Dodge is ceasing production of the Grand Caravan. Now this is a big deal because the Caravan was the first minivan ever. Unless you count the Shaynard and Wackler 1500, which I do not. You might disagree with me, but I'm telling you, you would be wrong. Now back in 1977, Chrysler decided to rethink the people mover. At the time, vans were noisy boxes built on truck frames. So, Chrysler made a vehicle that was roomy, easy to fit in a standard garage, and drove like a car. It could hold 5 or 7 people depending on the trim, and it created a market segment families couldn't get enough of. There's been 5 generations of the Caravan since then, but lately people are choosing crossovers instead of minivans. It also doesn't help that this current Caravan chassis goes back to 2008. You can still get a Pacifica if you want a Mopar van, but rest in peace to a legend. Let me pour some out for my homies. And finally, Audi has released photos of 2 upcoming performance electric cars, the e-tron S and the e-tron S Sportback. The e-tron has been on sale for a few years now, but these wear the special S badge, and that gets you cool things like an extra motor. These new cars have 2 motors in the back and 1 up front. Combined, they make 496 horsepower and 717 pound-feet of torque. That's nearly as much torque as the Porsche Taycan Turbo S, but that torque number is only available in 8-second bursts. The Audis go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 4.5 seconds and hit a top speed of 130 miles per hour. Differences from the regular e-trons include bodywork, suspension tuning, and larger brakes and wheels. The e-tron S can go 223 miles on a charge, and the S Sportback can go 3 miles further. Personally, I would take more storage space over the 3 extra miles of range, but hey, that's just me. Prices start just north of $100,000 or about 4 Grand Caravans. And coming up, we look at the big surprises from an auction in North Carolina. But first,
Dodge Caravan, one vehicle that takes the place of an economy car, sporty car, station wagon, and van. Dodge Caravan is a transportation revolution.
Construction CEO Eddie Van Noy amassed a huge collection of cars, bikes, and automobilia. Over 83 of his vehicles just went up on the auction block with Mecum, fetching a total sales price of just over $7 million. Our Hagerty team went through the auction results to pick out the surprises. First, there's a 2007 Dodge Magnum SRT8, which sold for over $40,000. Now these Hemi-powered wagons are awesome, but Hagerty currently rates them around $33,000. The difference? This one has been nicely modified. And if you think it's a fluke, you would be wrong. Mecum actually sold 3 of these, all for similar prices. An even bigger surprise was this 1995 Bronco XLT, which managed to fetch $79,200, way above the pre-sale estimate of $40 grand. Granted, this car has only 475 miles on the clock, but that's still over twice our Concours value. The biggest surprise to me? This 1988 Chevy K5 Blazer Silverado. This big SUV was expected to bring in about $40,000 on the high end, but it actually crossed the auction block for a whopping $82,500. Can you believe that? $80,000 for a Blazer, and I only got $1,200 for my 1990 Buick Century. For the rest of the surprises at the auction, go to Hagerty.com/media or click on the link below. That's all for today, but I'll be back tomorrow with more car news. Until then, keep driving.